So if you're thinking about buying new construction homes in Palm Beach and or South Florida, this is a video for you. Today we are going to look at the most exclusive community within Westlake, Florida's newest city, and that's called the Estates. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. If this is your first time to our channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button there over in the corner. While you're at it, ring that bell. What that'll do is that'll notify you each time we put out a new video. We put out new videos every single week. So if you're wondering what it's like to eat, sleep, and drink in this beautiful part of the world we call South Florida, this is a channel for you. 16 years ago, my family and I relocated to this part of the world we call South Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find honor to help people, perhaps like you, do the exact same thing. So if you're thinking about relocating to here in South Florida, and if you have questions, and you want to get answers from people who've actually done it before, well, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. Two of the best ways is in the description and the comments section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll set up some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating to here to sunny South Florida. We've helped so many people relocate to Florida, and we absolutely love it. So of all the new construction communities in South Florida, the one community, the one area that we get the most questions on is Westlake. Westlake is Florida's newest city. If you go to our previous videos, there's living in Westlake. Don't go now, but go afterwards. There's living in Westlake, Florida. There's the pros and cons of living in Westlake, Florida. Those are two of our videos where we go over some of the background, but I won't get too much into that today. But suffice it to say, in 2016, the city of Westlake was born, and since then, it is one of the fastest growing areas that we see in all of South Florida. There are basically three very, very active master plan communities here in Palm Beach County in South Florida. One is Westlake, there's Arden, and there's also Avenir. But of all three, this is probably the one that's growing the fastest. Within Westlake itself, they have the community called the Estates. So what I find about Minto's the builder here, they are very good with managing the construction and making sure that when you buy a house, you're not sitting in construction for years to come. They try to stagger it, and they open their lots up in that said fashion as well. But so anyways, they started originally with the hammocks here at the Minto part of Westlake. The hammocks, then the groves. They are currently selling the orchards. That's the single family homes, but they have this very, very special area. It's called the Estates. The Estates has more land. The Estates is part of the Atlantic collection. The homes are bigger. The homes are better. So if you want, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. So you need a higher budget to live here in the Estates. But if you can afford it, I definitely recommend checking out the Estates here at Westlake, Florida. So way back in the craziness of the real estate market in 2020, 2021, and here we are in 2023, so even the beginning of last year, 2022, they had such demand, and they can only produce so many homes at a time, that they were basically doing these staged releases. It's not as crazy now, and here at Westlake, the Estates at Westlake, you can actually buy one of the remaining lots that they have for sale. Back then, when we had that craziness, people were shying away from the Estates. I don't think for a good reason. It's more money. The plots of land are more money. It's a bigger plot of land. So what people were doing was they were putting their name in for the orchards, but in essence, the demand wasn't as high, but now they're right near the end. And listen, if you want to make an investment, I think that little bit of extra money that you put down, well, in some cases it's considerable, but that extra money, I think from a market value perspective, is worth it if you were to purchase a home in the Estates at Westlake. If you walk into the builder directly with your family and go right to the builder, I think you're crazy. We highly recommend getting independent representation. And what that means is we would, like a company like ours living in Palm Beach, Florida, we are a new home co-broker. What that means is we would have to be there on your first visit. That's the only way we can represent you. But we would be representing you as an independent party in your transaction here at Minto or any other new construction community. The cost of independent representation to you out of pocket is zero. The builder pays us, and they're happy to do so because, after all, they're happy that we introduce people, perhaps like you, to these great communities. So if we are representing you, we don't have any bias. Whether it's the estates, whether it's any other parts here at Westlake or any other community even existing, we don't care. We want what's best for you. When you go directly into the builder, what you're doing is you're speaking directly with an employee of the builder, and they want you to buy their exact community. With us, we're independent and we have no bias, so that's what you get with independent representation. We are there for the whole process, from the contract to the inspections. We'll be there. If you're out of town and you want someone to check on the building of your house, we do that as well. So that if you want to know more about what independent representation looks like, please reach out to us. So one of the things we find about the Westlake area is it's in Loxahatchee. It used to be Loxahatchee. And the people here, they don't like HOAs, or they like lean HOAs. They have an HOA here at Westlake, but the HOA fee is much more lean as compared to other communities. And that's what we find the people who buy in Westlake, it's exactly what they want. One of the main features of, in terms of the amenities here at Westlake is the adventure park. It is really nice. They're done with the adventure park itself. They are still working on other components of it. They're working on basketball courts. They're working on an adult pool, because what we see, if you go to the adventure park, let's say on a weekend when school is out, there's a lot of kids there. So they are building an adult only section to help keep so the adults can help keep some of their sanity. What we find, people are relocating from other parts of the country to here in South Florida. They look at new construction. For whatever reason, more than 3/4 of the sales that we have been a part of in the last couple of years has been exactly that, new construction here in South Florida. One of the things I think is worth mentioning, now that the community, whether it's Westlake or any of the other massive planned communities, have been open and selling, there are existing homes on the market. So if you have a short time frame and you want a quick delivery, or if you want to get a home that's new but not like brand new, in other words, someone bought it in about a year ago, and you want to maybe get it at a better price, it's perhaps we're on the lookout for those kind of homes. That's something that we can help you with. So if you want a community with a low HOA, brand new construction here in South Florida, Westlake is a community I would definitely check out. Here at the Estates, it's separate than everything else. It's part of the Atlantic Collection. The Atlantic Collection is a total of 11 models, and it's really their best collection of the homes here at Westlake that Minto does produce. The smallest home here would be under air. In Florida, we call it under air, which is legalese or Florida-ese for living space. The smallest home is 2,700 feet, and it goes up to, the biggest one goes up to 4,546 square feet under air. So basically your largest homes here at Westlake are right here in the Estates. So the biggest home that you can get here at Westlake is the Grand Coral, and that's the largest home I just mentioned with 4,546 square feet under air. Here in the Estates, they only have one model. When you look at the orchards, that's their other homes, their single-family homes, separate from the Estates. They have like 5 models, but here at the Estates, this exclusive collection, this exclusive area of Westlake, they have the Tequesta Grand. That's the model that we are in today, and as you can tell, like always, they deck these models out. So what you see here is going to be not exactly standard, but the house definitely, it looks beautiful. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this video is here in the Estates, there are 76 homes total for sale in total at the community. There are only 6 remaining, so they started selling a little over a year ago, and the reason why probably they didn't sell as fast as the orchards is because they are more money, and in general the people would require more of a higher budget. But still, I feel the land here, you can see here, this is a typical amount of space that you get for a home at the Estates. You get more property here than you were to buy in any of the other communities I have at Westlake, such as the Hammocks, such as the Groves, such as the Orchards. To be precise, actually, the amount of land here, this lot is 75 by 150. So when you're looking at Florida in general, when you look at these master plan communities, that is an oversized lot compared to most, not just Westlake, but most new construction communities as a whole. So what does it cost? Well, the lots are more money, as I mentioned. The smallest, the least expensive lot is $90,000 here at the estates. Most expensive is 155. Now, 155,000. Now, what that means is that what's the difference is here. If you see back here, that's a lake. They're really technically retention ponds, but that's how they price it. Generally speaking, when you are on a lake, you're going to pay more money for that piece of property. So what I like also about this collection is there's a lot of flexibility. I mentioned what the square footage is. They actually have homes as small as 2 bedrooms, if you can believe it, and they go all the way up to 6 bedrooms in total. So I mentioned that there's only 6 lots available. What I did not mention is what they do. This happens in a lot of new construction. Once they sell out the community, then they sell the model. So this model, this Tequesta Grand, will be for sale one day. And in fact, over this way, they have a parking lot where where people park to see the models here. So when they do that, once they sell out of everything, those 6 miles are gone, they will offer this. They will take those 2 spots that are currently used for parking, and they will sell those. But they will not offer that until after those 6 lots are sold. So I know what's on your mind is how much does this cost? What does it cost to be in the estates at Westlake? Well, on the low end, the models, the smallest model is $700,000. That's the base price of the model, and that's today. Here we are in 2023. The prices are fluid, and you know, contrary to what some people believe in other parts of the country, Florida's prices are still going higher. There are not like big reductions going on here. We just haven't experienced that. There are so many people moving to this part of the country that we're just not experiencing that. So the lowest price of the homes here at the estates is $700,000. The price of the largest home, well, that's the Coral Grand, as I mentioned. That is $900,000. That is the base price of the home. And sometimes what people don't realize when they go to, and this is true of every new construction community, when you go to people's websites, builders' websites, they are basically quoting the base price of the house. It's not including the land, and I went over what the land costs here in this community, and it's not including options. It is our experience, and we do a lot of new construction. We are a new home co-broker. It is our experience that the average family spends about 15% of the purchase price towards options and upgrades. So just to plan accordingly. It's not every family is different, but I've seen people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you don't have to. If you want to do these things after closing, you're obviously more than welcome to do that. So this is one of the nicest kitchens that you will find here in South Florida. And as I mentioned in all my videos, these models are decked out with all kinds of upgrades. Like, look at the size of this island. One of the things that we are finding is that they're becoming more and more builders are getting away from the formal dining, and they're making the kitchen area more of the meeting place. So the islands now have become gigantic, and this is sort of the place where people meet in the central part of the house, where people have their Thanksgiving and all kinds of stuff where the family gathers. One of the things I like about this model in particular is once you come through the main floor, you come here and it's like your own separate section. Here's like a little lounging area. This is like an apartment for a lot of people. If you live in New York City, this would be like an entire apartment, but here it's a small part of this model here that they call the Tequesta Grand. One of the things I love about this model, and in the concept as well, this is what they call a casita, as you can see. What this means is this is like a separate entrance, it's a whole separate house actually. So if you have like a college student that just came home from college and he wants to live here, or an in-law is even better, and you want some like their own space where they can sort of live their life and be separate from the rest of the family. That's what casitas are for. I mean, who would not want to live here? This is like paradise. So technically, you have your own little apartment here in this casita here in the Tequesta Grand at the Estates at Westlake. The other thing when you're looking at the models online, and don't call up the company directly, because what happens is they have an UPS system. So whoever you speak to is going to be your consultant when you call in. If you call us here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we can help you with pick out the best consultant. It's one of the things you want. You want, out of all the consultants they have here, I encourage you to go with one of the best, and that's what we help. That's one of the benefits it is to working with someone like us here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida. So one of the things that you'll see a lot in new construction now is, actually not a lot, it's all the time now, are these mailbox features. Gone are the days where you are allowed to have mailboxes. They passed a law in recent years where you're not allowed. They don't allow the builders to make the mailboxes. They feel like it's better this way, and I could attest from me being in a new construction home of many years ago. Our mailboxes get run down all the time. This is a much more efficient way. So when you're going to new construction communities, whether it's here at the Estates, whether it's the other communities of Westlake, you will have these mailboxes as a place where everyone picks up their mail. Of course, if you have like Amazon or something like that, they still do deliver it, but that's one of the things that's changed in the new construction home arena. Palm Beach, Westlake, paradise here in South Florida.